Zach, it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So before we get into your good work, I want to know this. 5 years ago, this pandemic changed so many things for all of us. How did you get through the pandemic of 2020, and how has that radiated into your world now in 2025?
Wow. Good question. How did I get through that? Well, at that time, I was actually in high school, getting out of high school.
Yeah,
So it kind of messed up a lot of things with social life as a young kid.
yeah.
I just remember being at our house, being in lockdown with my whole family. So in a way, it was kind of good because it made us more of a family unit and gave me more understanding of a family unit because at the time I have a twin sister, so me and my twin sister roll over. We're going to different parties, hanging out with different people. It's kind of like we're all over in a way. We're just ready to get out of school and to move on. But being in lockdown kind of switched everything up, made me take personally a step back from life, from what was happening, and really understand, okay, what do we have going on? Gave me more time with my parents, with my sisters, and I'd honestly even say it gave me more appreciation for where I was at in my life and what I was doing. And it also, in a good way, put me in a position of solitude. And what I mean by that is I had to actually go inside and think to myself, okay, now I'm not hanging around any people. Now I'm alone. And what happens when I'm alone? What happens when other people are alone is that we start to have these thoughts that go inside, right? In our head, these possibly living beliefs or like, what do I do? I'm anxious. Like, what's next? And instead of turning to social media and binge watching all these Netflix series and everything and going crazy, it actually allowed me time to really focus in on myself and where I was going and what I was doing, which was amazing. And I'd say leading out of that into current day, it really set me up for a lot of what I'm doing today, which is now speaking on these experiences of getting clarity, achieving clarity in your life, achieving direction, achieving really drive that you have in your life. But even more so than that, I've been studying like crazy. If you look in my living room, I'm like a madman right now with notes of mindset, of psychology, of hypnosis, of controlling, of like all these different things and all these different perspectives that are coming at us, and really understanding how everything in the world is working at play for the good or for the bad, and whatever way you want to look at that. So it really basically, in conclusion, gave me a whole entire new perspective on how I'm living my life and accepting responsibility and control for what happens in my life, because a lot of people can say in the negative way, right? Like, COVID ruined us. COVID ruined my business. COVID ruined my life. Like, oh, it just killed me. And then you have other people who are on the opposite side who say, yeah, it was a really, really difficult time, but because of that, I overcame so many hardships and I grew in the process and I learned and I actually thrived in business because of that.
Yeah.
So it gave me again that perspective of that lens of, okay, that lens of what are you actually focusing on? And now coming out of that, what can I take those lessons to do right now to improve my life and my business and my family?
It was a real existential
Yeah.
crossroads. It's a moment where if you were already kind of in that mode of being cognizant of who you are and what you wanted in life, it was going to expand. But if you were going to be in a place that was going to be darker, there's a good chance it was going to go into a bad way.
Yeah.
It just put a magnifying glass over everything
Yeah.
we were doing. So let's get into exactly what you do on a daily basis. On paper, it's clear, but if I put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds at career day and the kid in the back of the room is like, hey, what do you do for a living? What's your answer?
I had someone ask me this the other day, and I consider myself what I do on a daily basis is inspiring and impacting other people's lives. So my dad's in construction, and I consider myself in construction as well, but more so around the social media aspect. He's amazing. He has 40 plus years of knowledge in in his mind, and he's probably one of the best at what he does in construction, but he has no idea how to share that with the world, how to share that expertise with the world.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I love doing is I love the makings of films, of documentaries, of movies. I love social media. I love online. I love being on camera and sharing my advice with others. And there's a huge disconnect right now that's happening, specifically in this area of construction and content where everyone wants to be the next influencer, right? Everyone wants to be on camera, but there's not enough people in the trades industry. Mike Rowe talks about this actually, that we're actually falling behind. We need hundreds of thousands of welders, of tradesmen, of all these other people, but they don't have the knowledge surrounding that. They don't know how much they take in their career. They don't know how that would actually feel and what type of company they could be a part of. So that's one aspect of what I do on a daily basis is work with my dad, showcase what we do, how we do it, make it inspiring for other people so that they want to learn. Okay, that's how you actually build a dealership. That's how you actually build a house. This is what I actually have to be thinking about in family business or in finance around the business. And then the second thing that I do on a daily basis, if I had like a follow me to work day, is you'll constantly see me studying right now speakers and comedians and giving speeches on podcasts and stages. So right now I'm in the process of becoming, in my eyes, maybe it's because I brainwashed myself to believe this, but one of the world's best inspirational public speakers of my age.
Yeah.
So right now what I'm doing is I'm going online, I'm working with one of my coaches, Tim Story, amazing, of studying these speakers, studying these comedians, studying these actors who are able to hold attention for hours on end and really get a point across.
Hmm.
So now I'm curating the stories that I have from my life from being unable to talk to a single person in person, right? Like stumbling over my words and even overcoming adversity with a spinal surgery that I had where I literally lost all my muscle. I couldn't move. So now I have all these setbacks, but the setback turned into a comeback. So now
Yeah.
what are the action steps for that comeback? And now I'm able to go on stages and on podcasts and be able to speak to the audiences on how they can do that as well. So that's what my life looks like on a daily basis, which I love it. Some people say that I have an issue, I have a problem because I'm a little too obsessed, right? I don't quote unquote get out enough. But that's my drug of choice, if you want to
Yeah.
call it that. That's what I'm obsessed with. That's what fires me up. Being on camera, sharing construction, sharing the message that I have, and it really helping people.
So when you were 12 years old and you were in that position at Career Day, what did you want to be when you grew up? What was your dream gig?
I wanted to be a professional surfer and an actor.
Okay. Did you pursue any of that in any way?
Yes and no. I pursued the surfing career for about 2 or 3 years,
Okay.
and then I realized probably not the best idea for someone who's currently living in New York and doesn't go surfing that much versus someone who's living in Bali or Hawaii and is actually has a trained professional coach with them and is doing it all the time. And I took that up as a hobby. I love it. It's like my escape. It just all my worries and everything blends out. But the acting part, the speaking part, I kind of brushed to the side like we usually do
Yeah.
with many things in our life. But then that came back now to kind of grasp me.
Yes.
So now I'm actually pursuing that. It might not be in the specific acting career of movie sets,
Yeah.
but it's definitely something with me making videos, making vlogs, and even getting into a TV show, film type of show, something like Dirty Jobs for construction,
Yeah.
something like that for myself. So that's what I'm exploring right now, and that's what I'm going deep into with focus.
So what were the foundational elements early in your life that were laid in that have allowed you to get to this point, to be a dynamic speaker, to change minds, to help lives, help people? How did this happen?
I'm going to say it's a big part of how I was brought up in my family, but more specifically with my father, because everything that my father talked about when I was with him was all about giving back and all about communication and character and helping other people. And I say that because I said mentioned before that I love surfing, but I also love playing soccer. And just to give some context behind people, which is why this leads into my dad, is because I was playing soccer. I was probably one of the best people at my time at my age on this team, and I stopped playing soccer. And for multiple reasons, but that left a big hole. So now you have a big hole. What do you fill it with? So I started going around with my dad to all those job sites and stuff. And through that, I learned business, but I also built a very, very deep relationship with my father. And through that, he instilled with me the values of character. Do what you say you're going to do. Over communicate. Make sure that it's known what you want. Make sure you set the boundaries. Make sure that you give back to charities. Make sure that you give back to people, whether that's money, value, time. Because when you give back, you receive. And in doing that, I started to develop this kind of framework of myself of just continuing to give back. And I've always been fascinated with TV shows and movies. Like I love watching documentaries. And I think through that, I constantly had this idea in myself that I never felt normal like other people. And I never really knew why or how, but it's just that little sense, that little inkling. And I think over time that develops through experiences and it comes like someone knocking on a door harder and harder. And over time, over the years, things start to fall into place, like little blocks start to fall into place. And through those two things, um, that's led me to where I am today.
So, speaking of speakers, what's the best speech, the most dynamic speech you've witnessed in your life?
That is a great question. We talking just in general? Are we talking like comedic speeches, inspirational speeches?
Probably just in general, something that
Okay.
moved you that, because sometimes
Yeah.
we stand on the shoulders of giants and we aspire to things and admire. Like for instance, I saw Seinfeld for the first time ever in Kansas City in January, and it was amazing. Like this is a guy that doesn't ever have to work again, right? But he loves comedy so much, and he just got up there, and his energy live was fierce in a way that I haven't seen on
Yeah.
TV. So I walked away from that, and I was like, my God. And the weird thing is, when I was leaving, I realized he grew up in the same area that my dad grew up in Brooklyn. Well, Long Island, I should say.
Yeah.
So it was just the whole thing. Anyway, that
Yeah.
moments like that.
So I want to share two with you because I have two different ones. Number one is Seinfeld, who I was actually studying 23 hours to kill, I think it was. So whatever show he had, exactly like you just said, he had me right in the palm.
Yeah.
Like as I was listening to him, he doesn't really raise his voice or lower his voice. It's kind of like monotone, but
Uh-huh.
he has a way of bridging connections between an experience that he had that everyone else had, how relatable it is, and then he goes into like three other examples, three other topics,
Yep.
and then dissects them so deeply to the point where it's just how did I not think about this? Like it's so true, but yet no one wants to say it because everyone's afraid to. But then as soon as Jerry says it, it's like, of course.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then the second one, it's a bit more um raw and I think deepening is a speech. I think it's a commencement that Matthew McConaughey had. I
Yeah.
forget it.
Uh-huh.
Do you
I
you know what
remember.
I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been watching and studying his speech and why he intrigues me a lot is because he's got his, as every other speaker does, his unique kind of personality with how he speaks, with how he includes his little chuckles, his little at the ends,
Yeah.
how he flows. And I was noticing in the speech how he's not moving around the stage at all like these comedians do. He's in one place. However, he's got your full attention because he's going down a list of actionable items that you can have in your life, that you can take into your life. And the way that he explains them is so relatable with the examples of I went into the shop and there were all these different containers. Okay, what type of containers? Now you have my interest. Okay, they were filled with money, they were filled with happiness, with joy. Which one, as a question, do you think it was filled with? Definitely money. You're correct. It was money. Why? Now I don't have a problem with money. Pause. Now he brings people in. I don't. And people laugh.
Yeah.
So it's the push pull
Uh-huh.
that Matthew has, and it's just so he's not trying to be someone else. He's his own self that people just love. And I think those are the two most impactful speeches that I've heard and that I really study and that I relate to a lot.
I just listened to his audiobook. He reads it. It's
Oh,
great, dude. Yeah. Have you read his book yet?
no, but his audiobook,
Yeah. I mean, just the way he got to where he's at, how it all fell together. His family was just it's wild, man. Just a wild ride.
he's got
He's a
he's
cool
got
cat.
so many stories that I love.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great. So let me ask you this. Who's been your hero? Who's been your inspiration to get you to this point where you know your place on the planet right now?
It's a great question. I think I've had many inspirations and figureheads that have led me into this stage of life, almost like we have seasons in our life,
Hmm?
every different person for every different season. But the one that is most dominant, most prominent in my life right now is Tim's story. And I say that because I was really lost. Like, honestly, if I'm just being straight up with you, for a long time in my life, not really knowing what the hell I was going to do. I dropped out of college, 2.5 years into college, dropped out, didn't know where I was going to do. I wasn't working for anyone. I was with my dad. I was starting my own stuff. And I thought I was in construction. I thought I was in a marketing agency and everything, but I invested, made a massive investment into Tim to be coached by him, and he's been helping me a lot with internally who I am, what I believe, and then also curating that belief, that confidence, and the speech to be able to go out and through listening to him, through coaching with him, he showed me what's possible and that I actually do have this unique gift to be able to connect with people on a much deeper level, this empathy, and to also be able to teach people because of even though I'm so young in my age, Tim has really been able to show me that I'm able to correlate from people that are in their 50s or 60s, along with people who are in possibly their 20s or their teens. Like I'm sort of the bridge between these people. And I'm still being uncovered, but Tim's definitely helping me curate that into my life. So every time I jump on a call with him, every time I jump off a call with him, I'm almost in tears, to be honest with you, because he's the one person in my life right now that I feel like I could correlate to the most, and that he's actually showing me the path that I've delusionally thought was there when no one else, everyone would doubt me, but I'm like, I don't know what it is, but it's just there, and it's like a mask has come off of me. He's like my guiding light. So at this stage of my life, Tim is definitely the person who is my light at the end of the tunnel, my figurehead that I've been looking up to.
So what gets you up every day? What gets you up to do the work that you do, to evolve into who you are and to grow, obviously, and to where exactly you want to be?
That's a great question. I think I'm gonna ask people that in public from
Do
now
it.
on.
Yes.
Um, I want to give you an actual powerful answer on this. So I'm gonna take you through if you don't mind, a little
Sure.
process that I go through just to
Yeah.
help out. Why do I wake up every single day? Okay. I'm gonna reverse that question.
Hmm.
Why would I not wake up every single day? Like, what would happen if I didn't, if I stayed in bed? If I watched movies, if I just stayed in bed and I sleep, I wouldn't feel fulfilled because I wouldn't have created something or helped someone out. So I'd have that unfulfillment reason. So I'm probably gonna say that answer would be for I wake up each day for the creation of something, for the impact of someone, for the progress and potential of myself. Because when I'm not learning and when I'm not providing and giving out, I just feel empty. I kind of feel like I'm rotting away. And I think I wake up each day specifically to see what else is out there, what else my potential is, knowing that possibly the next day I won't be able to wake up.
Yeah.
So how am I able to help out my family, my friends? What impact really? I think it all goes back to impact for me. What impact am I able to make in other people's lives? Because it's actually kind of selfish. When I do that, I feel amazing within myself. And people might be asking, okay, so it's all impact. Well, why is it impact for you? Like, what's the deeper meaning behind that? And I say that I came to that conclusion because I did a trip to Greece a couple years ago with my friends, and that was literally the week after I dropped out of school, and it felt so freeing. But we ended up in Spain post trip, right? Post trip, and I remember I got this letter from my friend, and it brought me to tears because she had a friend that she called that night, and I'm not gonna say any names, but the person she fucking sucks to even say this. Um, he was literally about to take his life.
Hmm.
And she began to explain the type of person that she knows who I am and like what I do and my story. And the ability for him to even think one day to meet someone like me is what stopped him and what gave him inspiration to move forward. So to wake up each day and to live out my life through the hardships and through successes that I have to share with other people, to have that type of impact on someone's life, that's why I wake up each day,
Yeah.
every single day.
Well said. So let me needle in a little bit more on that of everything that you've done and more importantly evolved to at this point in your life. What are you the proudest of or the happiest about?
Cool. Great question. Proudest of. I think I'm the proudest of the fact that what I've been able to really overcome and share with people. And I think that goes also into my parents. And just for context, so people understand, I say this because we've all have different experiences and hardships in our life that we could go on for days and days and days and days. But being able for me to share that with other people to actually have a voice, because not many people want to be online, not many people want their name to be known. Being able to share that with other people again goes back to the impact. It helps people out. But my parents have invested so much money into me and time and love into me without really knowing any definite plan because I have a twin sister. She has a job. You have a job, you're making a paycheck, like you know what's gonna come next.
Yeah.
With me, I kind of feel like it was almost I don't really know what's going on with my son, but we're gonna invest in him and we're gonna be hoping for a return.
Yeah.
And now is when I'm starting to see that return happen over and over. So I feel like I'm most proud to be an example to the people that are around me and to my parents to be able to live up to something for them. And one last thing, which is it's funny because it just hit me now. I have this clothing brand called Perspective, and I think that honestly might be either the first or the second thing that I'm most proud of
Yeah.
because Perspective I created as a way for people to correlate together with stories that bring you to rock bottom and how they can be uplifting reminders on a daily basis to keep on moving forward. And just seeing the messages that I get on a daily basis and the stories that people can connect to, it's like a drug to me. I love that. So I think that's the most proudful thing that I've created that I have is this hoodie, is this brand that I've created for other people.
So at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you. Family, friends, everybody that gets your clothing, everybody that sees you speak, everybody that knows you in any capacity, but you ultimately run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Ah. At an overview level, like a massive world level, who I think I am, I think that I'm a young creative entrepreneur who's obsessed with learning, and one of the most impactful young inspirational speakers around. And on a deeper level than that, I think that people see that I have, looks like everything is figured out on the outside, and that everything's all dandy, and possibly even that I've had things set up for me. But internally, what people don't see is the limiting beliefs, the self doubts at times, and just a young kid who's obsessed with learning, who's obsessed with growing, and who's just a creative at heart and just experiencing life and going through it each and every single day, just basically like everyone else. I just have the goal to share it with other people and to really kind of be the, I guess, the light at the end of the tunnel for the people that are around my generation. So that's who I am. That's who I believe I am.
So if anyone wants more, they want to reach out, they want to get your clothing, they want to, they have questions, any of the good
Yeah.
business, where do they go?
Yeah. Go to my Instagram account, Zach Delmonaco, no space, no nothing, just Zach ZCH, and then Delmonaco with an A. Everything's over there, all my content. That's my main platform.
Okay. Zach, this has been wonderful, man. Thank you. Thank you for your story and best of luck with everything. You're gonna rock it off into the night, man. It's great. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, man, we're out. Hey, thank you. What a great story. I I have a stepdaughter who's 19 now, and she wants to move out to San Diego, and just being around the dreams brimming, I love it. I mean, there's so much that can be done, and I find that the younger generations don't have fences like we did. We were all kind of groomed, to
Yeah.
have the paycheck and to do all that. But it takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing. So I definitely acknowledge that, and good on you, man. Good luck with all
I,
of it.
I appreciate it. And same thing to you with what you're doing with this podcast and everything. It's very inspirational, and I absolutely love it. You inspire me a lot, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Best of luck. Send my love to Miami.
Will do.
Looking to
Ciao.
get new clients to your business through cold calling or email marketing? At Agency Y, they envision a world in which small and big companies have equal chances to win new customers in the market. Their purpose is to bring parity and reduce the gap between large and small firms with the help of their cold calling and cold email marketing services. Use the code Joe Dimino 10 at www.agencyyyy.org/coldcallingjoe.php or www.agencyyyy.org/emailmarketingjoe.php to get 10% off your first order. This is Joe Dimino of Neon Jazz and Famous Interviews, and I stand behind Agency Y to meet your business dreams.